welcome back to another edition of NXT Out of 10 right here on the Wrestle Debate. Following a great show at NXT Takeover 31, not 30, we'll have to see what NXT puts on today, and we're starting off with a great match between Tommaso Ciampa and Kushida, so let's get straight into it. At the beginning of that match, Kushida was in control, slapping the taste out of Tommaso Ciampa's mouth. The Psycho Killer responded, leading to Kushida bringing him down to the mat. Kushida escaped, dropping Ciampa with a hip toss drop kick before Ciampa hit a shot with less Kushida dazzled, allowing Ciampa to slowly get in the match. He attempted to grind Kushida back before Kushida hit a splash to regain control. Over the break, Ciampa got control, however. An arm breaker led to a running drop kick in the ring. Kushida avoided the fairy tale ending and tore at Ciampa's arm once again, and this continues to go back and forth before Velveteen Dream interrupted and ruined it. Would have given it a 7 out of 10. Great match, but I just didn't like the interference. Ember Moon was out next and thanked the NXT Universe for welcoming her back with open arms. She's been in isolation for 14 long months, and it's time to find out what the real Ember Moon was doing. That was when Io Shirai's music hit, and they were talking about getting a women's title match over on before Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez came out, and so did Rhea Ripley. Everything broke down, and we're getting a fight later. I'll grade all of that later, before Drake Maverick and Killian Dane had an argument backstage ahead of their match, which came up next between Ever Rise. As we assumed, Killian Dane hated everything about the new tag team. Maverick started the match and was on top for a little bit before they quickly got under control. Dane came out, dominated everything before he splashed Maverick onto one of the members of Ever Rise, Parker, I believe, and that got them the win. 6 out of 10, kind of buried Ever Rise, and hasn't really done much for those two, I'm not so sure. Austin Theory was out next, and he destroyed Liam Ruff despite a few scares in a matter of minutes before Dexter Lumis came out and they had a match. Theory was able to get the upper hand early on, hitting a belly to back suplex before Lumis hit a chokeslam and a slingshot suplex earned Lumis the win in a fairly quick match, but not a bad match. I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10. Even though Theory won one of his matches, he still got buried a little bit, but I didn't mind it so much this time, so I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Holland was out next, and he was fighting Danny Burch. Holland was on control early on before Danny Burch slowly got into the match, but it was soon over after Ridge Holland hit a huge discus clothesline. Holland disrespected Burch after the match, meaning only Lorcan came out. They had a little bit of a brawl before disaster struck, and Ridge's knee just tweaked and it looked ever so painful. He was in a lot of pain. I'm not going to grade it, but I just really hope he's well, because this looked like the one shot he was going to get a real proper push, so I just really hope he's fine. Next up, it was Shotzi Blackheart versus Xia Li. Xia Li was in control early on as she forced Blackheart into corner. Xia had Blackheart at top before Blackheart sat down in the mat and hitting a big diving senton for the win. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. It just wasn't long enough and wasn't as good as we've seen between these two recently. So yeah. In our main event, it was Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Ripley and Moon. Moon and Dakota started things off with Kai slapping the former NXT Women's Champion before Moon got on top. Ripley tagged in and booted Kai out of her boots. Prior to that, Gonzalez hit a tag and that allowed them to get on top. Kai tagged in and immediately lost the upper hand when she was planted by Ripley before Gonzalez managed to get on top again. Kai was then on top before she got caught out by Moon, and then Moon managed to hit the Eclipse on Kai. How I missed that move. It's just so great for the win. I'm going to give it 6.75 out of 10. Great to see Ember back. For this week, NXT gets a 6.5 out of 10 from me. I thought it was a fairly good show. Not really as good as recent weeks though, and there were some bits that I really didn't like. For example, the Shotzi Blackheart match wasn't great, so that does downgrade the grade slightly from recent weeks, and that means the wins with the Wednesday Night Raw for me quite comfortably this week was AEW Dynamite. I think they just had a much more consistent show this week, and NXT lost some of its consistency, really, which just put AEW quite far ahead this week, and NXT needs to do some catching up, really, if it wants to be anywhere close to AEW next week. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my other channels on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.